Hey, John Prevost here with WhistleBiz.com. Excited to have you here again. And also wanted to thank everybody's feedback and comments and just general questions around the site launch yesterday. It's been great. We've had a lot of good comments and a lot of really exciting feedback. So thank you for that, and hope that can keep coming. Hope to keep bringing that. I think we want to dedicate the rest of this week to basically coming up with a foundation of knowledge for us to be working from as far as what company culture is, what company culture isn't, how it relates to us. So why is it important? Where does it belong? Where doesn't it belong? And so today I wanted to talk about a common issue that we have. The title of this discussion today is process is a red herring, and basically how process can kind of skew our perspective on where culture should be and where it should be. There's a quote out there that's super famous that you hear from a lot of folks, a lot of organizational structuralists and so forth, that basically culture eats process for breakfast. I think a lot of times it said culture eats process for lunch. I like breakfast because it sounds more immediate, more intense. That was the first way I heard it as well, and it definitely means a lot. And I think it does a couple things. One thing is it definitely tells you where process lays with culture, right? Oftentimes we run to process as if it's the magic wand that's going to fix everything. We go put swim lanes up on a board, or somebody runs over to a whiteboard and says, oh, the reason the SOW did this was because this is broken in the process or that's broken in the process. And that's the first place everybody wants to go. But basically this is saying that the first place you should be going, if you're not absolutely totally sure about what really matters, is to culture. This is hard for me to say because I come from an engineering background as well, engineering and project management background, and so I love a good entity relational diagram. I love process in general. It's very exciting to me. I know that's pretty dorky to say, but that's the truth. I get it, but it isn't what makes things happen. It isn't what fixes things. Culture is the thing that fixes it. So it really does two things. One thing, it says, okay, process should be a subset of culture. It should be under culture. And number two, it also says that culture is different than process. I think this is, something that not a lot of folks get necessarily, or at least they just don't think about it, that these are very different things. What matters to us and the patterns that we incur within an organization are very different things. So basically, those are the two differences, and so I would say also that. So where does process belong? Where do tools belong? In this relationship, I'm basically saying that you have to have the right people on board, and you have to have the right culture before you can ever consider process. That's the bottom line. That's where it comes from. The truth is that if you have hired the right people, if we have the right people working with us that we're interacting with, and we have the right culture in place, we will figure it out. And that means the process and tools should come much later in the process. They should come once we get it, once we understand where we're supposed to be heading. So the challenge I want to leave you with today is this. Really think about process as it relates in your workplace. And it happens, and people talk about it, process and tools all over the place, and it just kind of floats around our heads at work, and we may not think what's really going on, but this is what's key about it. It's not only that we're going to say that process isn't as important as culture, right? Because culture is this tidal thing that's ebbing and flowing and will destroy any process, that comes out there. We know that, we get that. But what happens a lot is when somebody starts talking about process or talking about tools, there's another misalignment happening. And most of the time it's a cultural misalignment, meaning there's values somebody has over here that are at odds with the values somebody has over here. So next time you hear, like over the next day, 2 days, actually the rest of this week, I guess, if you could actually listen to when people start talking about process and tools and try to ask what is really going on. Take a step back, don't engage necessarily, just think about what is really going on. Where is this misalignment really? And I think that leads us to how process can be the red herring, how it can cloud us when we really need to be looking at what matters, what the behaviors, the patterns that matter are, and not be looking at the processes themselves. So I hope that's a good challenge. Let me know how that goes. I look forward to hearing about that. It's going to be hard to break those habits. That's the truth. It's going to be hard to break out of those. But we're always going to be trying to key on these things that can give hints to us about misalignment of culture. So I think that's it for the day. And have a wonderful day. Thanks so much. Bye.